Welcome to More Than Renovating, a Renovate and real estate podcast. Our founder, Belinda Smith, talks to industry experts to provide you with the knowledge and information you need to make renovating for love and profit your reality. Belinda will also chat to some of her Renovation Mastery members, who are just everyday people doing extraordinary things, following their passions in the renovation and property space. So, let's jump straight into the episode. Enjoy.
Yeah, hi, I'm Belinda Smith from Renovate and Real Estate. And today with me on my podcast, the More Than Renovating series, is Roger and Victoria. And they have worked with me for a little while. They're students of mine and students of many other property groups. They are entrepreneurs. They are avid investors. They've just built a business alongside a property business, essentially. And I take my hat off to how much work you guys can accomplish between you. But I thought we'd do an interview today and a breakdown on where it all began for you and what's in the future and how your last 12 months have been. Welcome.
Hi.
Hello. Thanks for having us.
That's all right. You're so welcome. All right. So whereabouts are you located for anybody who wants to reach out to you?
We're currently in Southeast Queensland.
And your business name is, if they want to find you online, is Urban Uplift.
Yeah. So
urbanaplift.com.au. And we started to work together mainly focused or very, very focused on property, particularly seller JVs, right? Joint ventures where you go in there and you help a property owner uplift the value of their property through a renovation strategy. And then everyone takes whatever you've determined it to be on that particular deal, usually some kind of profit share. So that's where we began working together. And then along the way, which often happens in our lives, you came across a business opportunity. Something landed in your lap and you said yes to it. And if you guys or anybody else, I'd say, don't do that, don't be distracted. But I recognized really, really early in working with you guys what you're capable of. You are capable of doing a lot and handling a lot. And between you, your skill sets, you really complement each other personally. So just tell everybody what that business is so that they can go and knock on your door and spend their money there.
Yeah, so it's a wine bar and restaurant. So we are providing a space for the community to come out at night and enjoy themselves, essentially. We just saw a gap in the market and we thought we'd create something. Victoria's dad's got a wine bar in Christchurch in New Zealand. And we're just providing one here and it's going really well. The community's loving it. And we just use some of our skills to create a space that feels like really good vibes. And yeah, the community is appreciating it.
Yeah, because we initially moved to where we are now to renovate because the houses here are just beautiful, all these cute little Queenslanders. And we found that there was nowhere to go. And since we'd just finished some reno projects, we had all this time and money. And we were like, oh, let's make somewhere. And yeah, now we own a wine bar.
There's nowhere to go at night. There's heaps of cafes, but there's no like bars. There's heaps of pubs and taverns, but there's no cool Melbourne-like bars.
To hang out with friends and have good quality conversation over a few drinks and some kind of food. Tell me quickly about your menu. Set the scene for your bar.
It's all share plates. And then we have a wood-fired oven. So we do wood-fired pizza, which is also available for takeaway. It's so good.
Heaps of wine and cocktails. The majority of people are just business people, real estate agents, accountants. Everyone just wants to have a good night.
Yeah.
So proud of the way you took the business on and ran with it. So what I mean by that is you had the keys. I'm thinking December, early December. No, it was earlier than that, wasn't it? November-ish?
Yeah.
Yeah.
November.
In that short amount of time, you had to put together restaurant/wine bar where the atmosphere felt right. So you lent on your renovation experience. Victoria, your ability to create beautiful spaces really came into play. You lent on your renovation experience to put together this atmosphere. Tell me a little bit about what you did to the wine bar before you opened it up.
It already had really good bones and a lot of the equipment was already there, but it just didn't feel good.
Yeah.
So it was pretty much a cosmetic reno. We added Venetian plaster on the walls, some pendant lights, some shelving, pretty much, I'd call it styling, but it's wine bottles.
Yeah.
And yeah, just like dressing the tables nicely because it came with tables, but they just weren't nice. And yeah, it feels really good in there.
It does. Yeah, we didn't buy a business. We just acquired the fit out and the assets. And now we have 15 staff. This is so hard compared to renovating. This is the hardest time of our
Yeah.
life. We've learned so much in the last few months from each
Yeah.
other about people and management. But the feedback we're getting from the community, it makes it all worth it. When people come and they realize how good of a time they've had and the reviews, it's just fantastic.
But I would recommend everyone stick to renovating. There's more money in it.
Okay, so well, that's an important thing to say, because renovating, a lot of people think renovating is exhausting. They would think the opposite, that it's easier to run a business, that there's freedom in your own business. And you guys have done both and been successful in both. And like, congratulations on your success with the wine bar in such a short amount of time. I saw you on telly the other day doing an interview. You really have changed the face of Ipswich and given people that place to go. But just being able to apply your renovation strategies to that wine bar has really served you well. But to be able to be organised and line things up one after the other, renovation potentially or mostly you're organising stuff, things, product, and then in between you've got your tradies. But when you're working in a business, you're organising people and getting them to organise stuff and get things done. And it's that whole layer of complexity when you employ as many as 15 staff, and 15 is a lot of personalities to manage.
And hospitality business is an ongoing concern, whereas renovating, you can have breaks. You're your own boss in a way. You've got just subcontractors that are not always needing you, and you can do a project and you can make some money and then you can go away or travel. Whereas in a business, you're always required to be there, especially in hospitality. There's continuous ordering and invoicing.
It just never ends.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't just stop.
But our intention is to sell. This is a flip as well, Belinda.
Yeah.
This is something that we can sell in a couple of years or two.
Yeah. Yeah.
And yeah, it's just, that's how we're treating it.
So there's lots I like about that as well. A lot of people want to go and renovate full time and quit their jobs, which is awesome. But what people forget is how much easier it is to fund those extra products along the way, like buy some expensive vanity or something a little bit extra, as well as go and get loans and keep on financing projects and with some kind of extra income. So you've virtually created an extra income stream, and now being able to renovate as well as you can also, you're recognizing now that it's time to turn your hand and get back into the renovation space as well. You can do both.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely miss it because we haven't done a reno in a while and I'm just craving it so bad. Like I've got a bit of consulting, but I just really want to get stuck back into one.
Into a big project. Just to let everybody know, Victoria has beautiful, beautiful taste and puts together homes really beautifully well, but a little bit creatively as well. So it's probably, if you feel that, I don't know, yearning, drawing towards being a bit creative, you can do that in the beginning in your business, your wine bar, but you're not feeling that creativity now. You're not exercising that muscle.
I am, but not as much as like a full renovation.
Reno, when you're choosing colours and tiles and spaces and design and little bits and pieces. So how did you both start and what drew you to renovation in the beginning, both of you?
Well, when I met Roger, I was studying interior design and also construction management. And I wanted to go and work in commercial sites because I heard that it was good money doing like contract admin. But then Roger was already working in those sites and he told me, no, it's really toxic. So I kind of just finished my studies and I worked at Bunnings.
Yeah.
And we were just doing renos. So yeah, what got you into renovating?
I was building since I was 15. I did my carpentry apprenticeship and yeah, just loved it. Loved being outside, loved being able to be creative and seeing some process and being able to accomplish something every day. And now that we're renovating, it's like quick and fast, and you see that progress even more. I don't actually enjoy building a whole house. I'd rather just get in and make something look and feel better and then move on to the next thing.
But yeah, at the beginning, Roger had a few properties that were negatively geared. So we had to like renovate and sell those. So that was kind of where it started as a team.
Yeah.
And then we were like, oh, that was good. Let's do another one and then another one. And now we've renovated 12. We've done 12 renos together.
Yep.
Some of them are joint ventures and seller joint ventures, but most of them.
So let's take it back a little bit. You've done 12 renovations, and the reason that you started to renovate some of the properties that you owned was to uplift the value and sell them at an absolute high, like to get the most money you could for the properties, some of which you already had, right? And then tip that money into, what did you tip that money into? Into debt, into your next renovation project? You just kind of rolled along and you changed the look of your portfolio to suit you better cash flow wise.
Yeah, exactly. Invested into a house in Brisbane that's now a rooming house. So that's positive, which is great.
Yeah.
And then mainly using the funds to buy more properties to add more value to.
And therefore, you guys were in a position where you could actually quit your day jobs, essentially, let's call it that, and start renovating or look to renovating full time.
Yeah.
And when did that happen? When was that transition?
Was it last year or the year before?
It was 2.5 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so then the wine bar came along because you were well on your way. You already worked with people outside of yourselves. So you've already partnered up with people on projects, and you were well on your way to really being the masters of seller joint ventures in your particular location. The wine bar's come along, and now the wine bar, it seems like a long time ago, but it was 6 months really. Let's call it 6 or 7 months. You've got that handled. You've got that organised and sorted, and you identify that you can still do renos on the side and make a bit of money in that respect too, as well as having the properties that you still own, making money and turning incomes as well. So you're setting up all these little income streams to support you guys. What's retirement age? Go.
I think we're going to be semi-retired soon.
Yeah.
I don't think I ever want to be retired.
Yeah, we had a phase where we both didn't really have to work because we just had heaps of money from the renos, and we got really bored. We'd wake up and go to a cafe every morning, and then I think one day, because we had a van for a while, I was like sitting at the beach, like drinking coffee, and I'm like, oh, I'm so bored. But I think we actually really like working and renovating. We'll never end. Like we'll never stop.
Me too. I'll be doing it when I'm 85. It's just when you get a good crew and it's pretty easy, it's enjoyable, and it's challenging some days, but basically it's enjoyable. It doesn't take up all of your time. So I'm the same. Brett and I will be doing something just because we love it and because we can.
Yeah. And I just love what you do in terms of renovating. You're not just renovating, you're actually helping people, and we're uplifting spaces. We're not just builders, who renovate. We actually spend more time planning and executing.
And tell me what that feels like, as in what the reaction is when you work on somebody's place and create something beautiful from it.
Oh, it's so satisfying.
Yeah.
I reckon that's my favorite thing in the world, is just the transformation.
Yeah, the befores and afters.
Yeah. And what it does for the seller, they once had a house, and then by the end, once we're done with it, they've got more everything. They've got more money to spend on whatever they want for their family.
Yeah.
A beautiful product to sell.
So you really are creating a win-win for you guys as well as for the existing property owners.
Yeah. And the agent, if we pass it on to an agent, they can win as well. They've got a better house, a better portfolio, and a better reputation.
I agree. What do you like to DIY still, and what are you happy to hand over to somebody else to do?
I'd say little things on kitchens, like the island. We like to DIY, like the finish of that, and like the range hood. What else do we like DIYing?
It's probably more towards the end, the finishing touches.
Yeah.
Getting involved in that.
Yeah, like the details to make things look custom. Like the things that if you paid someone, it would cost heaps, but we're just getting the look on a budget by doing these little details ourselves.
And working more on sourcing, because anyone can be a tradie and build and install. You just need to find the right people to do it, obviously. And yeah, focusing more on sourcing and planning.
Yeah, I think
that's
designing.
Designing and the finishing touches.
You guys were amazing when you were sourcing product to finish off your wine bar. For example, we talked about stools, we talked about tables, we talked about scale in the room, we talked about mood, colour. You guys are really on the ball when it comes to the whole picture. A lot of people think that renovating is just getting in there and replacing old with new, boring tiles, ripping things out, throwing them in skip and just, getting cheap stuff and chucking it back in. And you guys just have a really good talent and an understanding of how to create the most potential from each space.
Yeah, and I think quality is important as well, and actually creating an interesting space, not just getting cheap white stuff and chucking it in there so it looks new, because then it's just going to look old in a few years. So I like to design things that maybe they're a little bit trendy, but they will, like, good trends that will last. And it won't look old in 5 years.
Because I know you so very, very well, I'm going to put you both on the hot seat. Okay, Roger, what are your amazing traits and what do you think drives Victoria crazy when you're on a renovation project?
Amazing traits. I can do more than one thing at once and I actually enjoy it.
Yeah.
And I can feel when each trade's at a certain percentage of their completion.
Yeah.
I'm one step ahead, so then no one is falling behind. And that's what makes the renovation happen so quickly. Like, we did a full house renovation in 4 weeks. But on the flip side to that, Victoria needs everything planned, designed, and catered for before I execute. So that can clash. Yeah.
So sometimes he'll ask me to design something. So then I'll, like, get ready to design it. And then he's already building it. And I'm like, hey, I haven't designed that yet.
Give me a minute to catch up. I love working with you guys. You have such complementary skills. You really do. Roger, you keep the project on time, on budget. You really do hustle things along so beautifully.
Yeah.
And Victoria, you are prepared to say, hang on a minute, we can't rush this. We need to put some time into doing a good design or going that extra mile to choose something perfect, which is why your results are so spot on. Victoria, what drives you crazy about Roger when you're working together, and what are your talents?
He's just too fast. So fast. Like, he gets everything done so quickly. Done well.
Yeah.
But I get of a slow, like, I don't know, he just lives in a different pace of life from the rest of the world, I reckon.
From the whole world.
I reckon my skills having the vision. So I'll say, okay, we're going to do this. And then everyone on site will look at me and be like, are you crazy? And I'm like, no, we're going to find a way to make it work on the budget. And then we always find a way. So I feel like I can get, like, the designer look on a budget, and it's really, really cool. Because, like, no one would know that it was actually, like, cheap, but it looks $1 million.
Yeah, that's right.
You guys do really well together. And I love to work with couples because I can see what goes on behind the scenes. So is it possible, and are you going to continue to renovate together as a couple?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And do you see all of your differences as strengths or as things that are difficult?
Well, it's challenging, but it's definitely a strength because it's like a push-pull thing. Like, he's, like, going forwards, but then I'm, like, going back. And then at the end, we always have a really beautiful product that everyone likes.
Yeah.
Honestly, I'm the same with my husband, no different. I see him, he gets in there. He wants to rip things apart before I've even taken before photos. And I'm still thinking about stuff, or I've got stuff on order. So we're exactly the same. I think that, I don't know, do we all need couples therapy when we're renovating, or do we work it out along the way? I love the way that you guys have fallen into your own tasks when you work together, and you do work really well together to run businesses together and to live together and all that kind of stuff. There's some people can do it and other people can't. You guys do it very, very well. And I think you bring out the best in each other when you're working with clients. If you guys are listening to a podcast, they're smiling right now.
Yeah. And I think Victoria is a really good leader when it comes to working with clients.
Yeah.
It gets just her personality. She can warm up to anyone and really helps let them figure out what they really want or need for their house, particularly their house.
What I love doing is making sure that everyone's really happy and really comfortable with everything. because like normally there's a bit of risk involved, and I just want to make sure at the end of the day that everyone's like taking low risk and that we're all like really happy with what we're working towards.
And then everyone feels okay and everyone's on the
Yeah.
same page.
Yeah.
I do love your attention to detail, even to that point, right? A lot of people just go, okay, everyone kind of knows what's going on. That's good enough. And you'll just take it that extra step, which is why your finishes, when you guys work together on projects, whether it be a wine bar or whether it be on a renovation project, that's why your finishes are just right up there, just so beautiful. What do you think renovation has given you in your life?
So much. I think I was living the dream before the wine bar. We would do a
Now
project.
you're busy. You're busy
now
for a
it's
few
so
months.
But we would do a project and then we'd go overseas a few times and
Yeah.
then do another project overseas with our families.
Oh, and it was so good, the research overseas as well, because we're so lucky here in Australia, but
Yeah.
being able to travel, like we went to Japan a couple of months ago, and you just pick up on so much interesting things.
You
And
mean
you
the architecture and the culture and the way they do things over there and design ideas and
it's great. Truly is.
Yeah. And I don't think if we were working in jobs, we wouldn't have been able to travel as much as we did. I think just the time, like you make money and then you have all this time and you could do anything you want. Like that's amazing.
yeah, it's a lifestyle business.
Yeah.
Definitely a lifestyle business. What has been part of the Renovate and real estate community? What part has that played in your progress?
The networking, I guess, is my favorite part. To be able to find people that have a similar vision and life as you. We didn't know this existed until we met you, and it was just the best thing ever because we were trying to find our crew, our group, and we just couldn't find that anywhere. So to be able to like have the crew that has the vision, it means so much because you can just ask questions and have the help that you guys provided.
And I remember how the Renovate real estate community, they all love design because a lot of renovating groups, they don't really care about what the end product looks like. They just want to make money. But I think for Renovate and real estate, everyone's passionate about creating a good product. So it's quite different from like most other renovating groups.
Thank you. I think it's about both. I think both have equal weight. And I think you make more money when you pay more attention to some of those design details. And it's not real hard to do. It's much easier for you because you've got a design eye, but it's certainly teachable and learnable. I love the way that you guys are inside our community and you're leaders in our community. And I know that you answer questions when people have questions and you've shared your before and after photos. And when you do that, you really do help everybody else in that you just create an atmosphere where everyone believes and can see what's possible if they really just, put their foot down on the accelerator and give things a go. So thank you so much for that. If you could share a key learning, a message with anybody listening right now, what would that be?
For me, a key learning would be to keep going when there's problems, because there's problems every day.
Every day, yeah.
Always going to be problems and even big problems. And you just keep going and try and learn from it. I think that's my biggest learning was to just keep going because like it's so tempting to go get a job and just go, stuff like this doesn't work. Let's just get a job.
Yeah.
I've got more money getting a job sometimes. And yeah, that's probably my biggest takeaway. Just stick with it because you just learn from the problems.
Yeah, and just be consistent when it comes to finding deals. It can be quite challenging, but I know that if I'm not finding one, it's because I'm not putting enough effort in. So just keep trying, and if it's not working, just try harder.
Yeah, no, that's it. Thank you very much. That's just a beautiful thing to say because people give up far too early, far too soon.
Way too early. Like it took us years to get to where we are, but it just slowly snowballed. And if we keep trying, then imagine where we'll be in a few years. You just got to keep going.
I'm so excited. I'm very, very excited to see where you guys will be in a few years. You are entrepreneurial. You're absolute doers and goers. You'll stick at things. Roger, you like to do things fast. Victoria, you'll take your time, but you'll make sure that you honestly just keep going and going and going until work's complete and you make sure everything's done to a high standard. You are the perfect couple to go and do a renovation project with. and you understand the human spirit and the difficulties of doing a project, and you have a real kindness about you. So I'm so blessed that you're part of my group, my community. And if I've played any part in your role moving forward in your lives together as the entrepreneur couple that you are, I'm super proud of that. And I feel very blessed to have that opportunity. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
If anybody would like to work with Roger and Victoria, if you guys have got a property that you need renovated or fixed up, perhaps you might need design advice, reach out to these guys at urbanuplift.com.au and just have a discussion, a chat, and if they can help you, they will. I know that they will.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Next time we do an interview, we'll do it in your wine bar.
Oh, yeah, that would be
You can
cool.
shout me dinner.
Sounds good. Sounds good.
I'll have a pizza in your wood fire oven.
Yeah,
Perfect.
that would be cool.
Excellent. Thanks, guys. Thanks so much.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.